Howdy, hello, how you going? My name is David Dittel, and I'm the founder of Linkmate. We are a social enterprise devoted to proactive emotional support, and we believe that everyone should have a mate to turn to in times of need. So today, I want to share my experience of transitioning to uni from school. And just sort of highlight some of the challenges that a lot of people, a lot of students face. And I think reflecting on my experience, just sort of to share maybe some things that have worked for me, which might hopefully help you if you're going through similar things, and help you feel a little more comfortable and confident in your studies and making the transition. So I guess one of the many, because there are many different struggles that first year students face when it comes to making that transition and that leap from the school environment into uni, is the fact that you're very independent for the first time in your life, and there's a level of independence that you haven't had before when it comes to sort of responsibility and accountability over your work and over your assignments and over your tasks. For instance, no one's going to stop you from skipping class or push you to do your homework at uni. Those decisions are entirely yours, and there's a great sense of freedom that comes with that, which is very cool, and I think is a lot of fun. But with that freedom comes, a greater level of ownership, of responsibility, to be able to, still do well and have fun at the same time. So I think, reflecting on my experience at uni, so I was doing biomeds, and I was slammed with a huge amount of contact hours and a lot of time spent on homework and assignments and in the lab and stuff like that. And I think I wanted to flag that skipping class is a decision that you can make, and it's a decision that I made from time to time as well. I think that's okay, and we can. It's important to normalize that the level of independence you have at uni when it comes to your classes and comes to your work, when it comes to your work, is the same level of independence you have after uni and in the workforce. And I think, choosing to take days off, for your mental health, for your physical health, whether you're working, is very much the same as, choosing to sleep in, or to take a day off to treat yourself, to spend some time and nourish your soul at uni. So I think, I wanted to flag that that's totally fine. And, if anything, I think it's important to consider it at least, and go at your own pace. You really should go at a pace that you feel comfortable with at uni. And what most lecturers hopefully will do is remind you of deadlines. They'll give you some direction of how many hours of study you should be doing, so it can give you a sense of give you some direction as to whether you can afford, or whether you can you'll be able to take time off to be able to still meet a deadline and hand something in on time. But I think again, that decision is yours, and meeting deadlines are up to you. I think something that I wish that I did do that I didn't was, when it comes to learning about the subject structure and sort of experiences with lecturers and demanding workloads and stuff like that. I reckon I would have benefited from talking to students that were 1, 2, 3 years ahead of me when I first started. So I did that eventually as time progressed, and as I got towards the end of the degree, and sort of explored casual and part-time and full-time work opportunities. But I think what can be really hard to do when you're initially starting out is actually sending some messages to student leaders, to other students who've been where you are, and actually getting maybe a lens into the future a bit of vision as to what to expect when it comes to things like lecturers and workloads and stuff like that. And really, it doesn't have to stop at uni. You can involve your friends and your family in that sort of decision making and learning process as well. It's a really transitional period in your life. So I think, making them feel included in the exciting new step that you're taking, it will be really meaningful. Show them some love and make them aware of how much you value their support and their encouragement. I think it's important to let them know if you're grappling or if you're struggling with something. And for me, it was helpful to ask them to share their own experiences, whether it is your friends who are going through potentially similar things at the same uni or at a different uni, or your parents who may have faced similar things back in their days. So you never know, you might walk away with some nuggets of wisdom and some knowledge that they can impart. So definitely all for that. Always a big fan of reaching out and asking for help from others. But I think whilst academics aside, that is a big part of the struggles that many first year students face. The other part is, as I mentioned before, you might have friends joining you at uni and in your same friendship group from school, but you might also you might not be in that position. You might be embarking on a new experience at a uni without any of the close friends that you've had all throughout your schooling experience. So regardless of whatever boat you find yourself in, I think it's still important, and I definitely recommend branching out and meeting new people and sort of stepping out of that comfort zone to try and expand your network in a way, and really just make friends, because it will really enrich your experience and you'll be able to learn a lot more and I think have more fun as well that way. So for me, when I made the transition to uni, I was living at a residential college at uni, and I think in a way I was fortunate. I did end up being joined by many of my mates from school, which sort of made the transition, I think on one hand, somewhat easier, because I could remain within my comfort zone quite easily and continue having those familiar chats. But I think on the other side of the coin, it created a sense of complacency, maybe that I didn't need to branch out because I had those familiar existing connections, and I ended up branching out, and I did that by going to O Week and getting involved in some student run events and societies and things like that, and that made all the difference for me. If I reflect, going to orientation initiatives and sort of different student societies held various events and parties throughout the social calendar. Not only did it were they really fun, but it helped me find my tribe at uni. I remember going to I went to a boat party, Biomed Student Society boat party, which was fun, and also the Science Student Society's foam party. Very random, but very cool. Great opportunity to let my hair down, in between assignments and assessments. But honestly, I think there's a sense of apprehension, perhaps, and trepidation when it comes to these events. I know I certainly felt quite socially anxious entering these new environments, with tons of people I hadn't met before. But then I realized everyone else was in the same boat as me. So it really, when I had that revelation, I guess it did help me ride out some of those feelings and even make some friends. We sort of bonded over mutual anxious feelings with some other fellow introverts. So you never know. I think there's hope for all of us, and we can have just through one conversation with a new student, it can lead to a new friendship group and a new tribe, and lots of fun and special memories from there. So what I wanted to sort of wrap up with is, we can't really talk about navigating challenges at uni without talking about the, support services that are available at, at your uni or TAFE or educational institution or wherever you're studying. I think most unis these days have peer mentors and advisors that can really assist you with your studies academically and sort of offer some tips and some guidance with assignments, whether it's writing an essay or preparing for an exam or stuff like that. So I think academically speaking, there's lots of supports that you can access, but also local counselling and psychology services that are at the excuse me, that are at the uni are incredibly helpful as well. So these counsellors and psychologists are actually trained in and deal with a variety of different student challenges and speak to students over many of these challenges and issues that I've sort of talked through today. So that they can really offer a really meaningful sounding board and create a safe space for you to talk these feelings through. For me, it was really difficult to find a connection with one that I resonated with in the early stages. I think what I've learned is that it is a numbers game ultimately. Like it's really difficult to reach out in the first place, and it's really difficult in the as well after reaching out to find and connect with someone who you trust and with whom you feel comfortable with as well. So I think being patient with yourself and being kind and sort of appreciating that it might take some time and a few more goes and exploring other avenues is helpful. And that sense of patience and self-compassion is really important and really helped me find and connect with the psychologists that I see now, and I'm really grateful for that sort of patience and self-compassion. So yeah, to conclude, all I've done here, as per usual, is I've shared my story and what I've learned. None of it is a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. You should still seek the advice of an appropriately qualified healthcare professional before making any decisions about your circumstances. And you can also access empathetic social support from a mate, from a peer who can relate to what you're going through on Linkmate by scanning the code right next to me here, if you're on a computer. And if you're watching this on your phone, you can download the app for free on the App Store and on the Play Store. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening and sharing your energy with me today. Ciao for now.